Hello and welcome back, everyone. The Bronx Documentary Center is holding its 4th annual Latin American Photo Festival featuring award-winning photographers from Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Venezuela, Peru, and El Salvador. The festival showcases large-scale photographs throughout the Melrose community, displaying a variety of long-term projects focusing on social issues. And joining us to tell us more about the festival, along with the upcoming panel discussions, please welcome Latin American Photo Festival curator Michael Kamber, photographers Carlos Saavedra, and Andrea Hernandez Briceño. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Rhina.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. I understand, Andrea, está llegando desde Venezuela. Carlos, I know you're representing Colombia, but you're here in New York, right?
No, I'm in Bogota, actually.
You're actually in Colombia, too. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is the beauty of us operating virtually.
Yeah.
So I do want to open up with you, though, Mike, because you are the curator, and you're here in New York, right?
Actually, I'm not. I'm up in Maine at the moment.
Oh my goodness! Everybody, well, you know, it is the summer, so we're all entitled to be in our original hometowns, we'll say, right? So that being said, there was this wonderful display that just exhibited, rather it's still on exhibition at Melrose in the Bronx, and you've done this already 3 years in a row. This is the 4th year, and there are these beautiful images. Let's just share with everyone how I guess you choose the photographers as well as the topics and how it relates to the community.
Yeah, I did this with Cynthia Rivera, who's the co-curator, and you know, we got a lot of photographers from previous years to recommend the people that they would like to see in this year. So you know, it's very influenced by the people who are in Latin America, who know what's going on, who know who's doing the great work down there. And we got a lot of submissions and a lot of recommendations, and we narrowed it down to the work that we felt was the strongest. It was a tough year, to be honest with you, because a lot of the work, it's been a tough year with COVID, and then politically it's been a tough year in a lot of places, and a lot of violence. So to be honest with you, it was a difficult curation, but we tried to find something that was, you know, upbeat and also kind of got at some of the problems that are going on. Well,
upbeat, I don't know. Upbeat. Some of these topics are like really, I mean, my heart was hurting. And I will say that there is that conversation that needs to be had. And I've always considered photographers to be communicators and as well as historians. And Carlos, I want to talk to you about the topics that you've captured and this social cleansing that's occurring in Colombia that I didn't even know about.
Yeah, this is something that has happened historically. Like, it's basically because of the lack of government in many places. It is a very centralized way of governing, so I mean, this is where the government doesn't go. So these places which are in the outskirts of Bogota and in the outskirts of various cities have sometimes to take measures into their own hands. So it's like kind of a vigilantism in order to create some sort of order in specific communities. So this has happened historically. This has happened with guerrilla groups. It has happened with paramilitary groups, happened with the policemen in some certain cases, army, and it continues to happen in places where it has been very complicated situations, as we talked before. Yeah.
And I want to come back to you after we introduce Andrea's topic, because I was a little blown away with the fact that they're actually regulating based on eliminating and it's marginalized. But we're going to come back, okay? Because I want to introduce Andrea's situation, rather her topic in choice of capturing that has to do with Venezuela's food insecurity.
Yeah. Hi, Rhina.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you so much. Actually, my body of work is called Mango Season, and it has this name because it began with the pandemic, and the pandemic began with the mango season. And right now in Venezuela, this season is very celebrated because of food insecurity. Since we have a crisis, and now the pandemic sort of made it a crisis within a crisis, then there's a lot of people that eat like twice a day maximum. I think that's at least 1/3 of Venezuelans, according to UN data. And what I wanted to capture was how instead of doing it like we usually do, which is very harsh and rough imagery, I tried to capture the creativity of Venezuelans and how we can, or Venezuelans in general, can obtain food in spite of everything. Because now we also have fuel shortages, so food distribution is very hard. So I traveled along the coast of Venezuela to see how people were doing this in their own villages. And yeah, that's
yeah, no,
it.
I see the image of a horse, right? And which of course comes back to nature, because I know a lot of your storytelling is about coming back to the roots. And then this young boy carrying what we call in Puerto Rico quenepas. What do they call it in Venezuela?
Mamones, but that in
Mamones?
Mexico, it's a weird word.
Yeah. No, but again, the idea is that these images are evoking some form of conversation related to social issues abroad. And so now I want to come back to you, Carlos, because the image of the woman with the cross on her head for Ash Wednesday, what it did for me, and this is just getting to know you all, is it made me question whether she was looking for salvation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that woman is called Paola. She's a transgender activist here. And the way that, and she's been in many social cleansing campaigns. So the way that they do it, they put lists on the walls, and she's been in so many of them. And I've been working with her for the past like 5 years, kind of. And yes, and one thing that is, I think that image is really strong as well, is like there is such a huge connection between violence and superstition and religion in the situation here. Like it always goes hand in hand, and it mixes together with, and usually like people who are the perpetrators or are the victims cling on to this, to beliefs which are like more than just like the physical world. And I think this happens in many wars, like World War I, and it's just a way of dealing with so much death and so many complicated scenarios.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to acknowledge you both for being a voice of your homeland, and capturing it in the way that you've done. And so before we go, Mike, I want to leave it with you. I want to close out with you just sharing a little bit about the other photographers before we go, because while we're talking about these serious topics, they're not all that serious. However, I really appreciate the fact that there is this awareness that's being brought into a neighborhood that may consist of residents from Latin America.
Yeah, all of our neighbors. I mean, our next door neighbors are from Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, Colombia. So our whole block, our whole community is obviously Latino, being in the South Bronx. And they're very closely connected to these issues. Some of them have come to the Bronx actually to escape this violence that we're talking about, and to escape some of these issues, and trying to find sanctuary. So yeah, the community is very closely tied to it. We did show work from Chile, from police violence in Chile. We did also show some upbeat work from Colombia and other places. So there are some things that are more beautiful and a little more soothing, but it's been a very tough year. And but we still felt, our neighbors came out, they thanked us. They said we enjoy seeing the work and interacting with the work. And also we brought 4 of the photographers to New York, and so they spent time in the community. They talked to students, they talked to community members. So there was a real intercambio, a real exchange there.
Beautiful. And then of course they're larger than life-size photos that people can just walk through Melrose to experience.
Exactly. We always put them outside as much as possible. So I think we have 5 or 6 exhibitions. They're outside, they're on the walls, they're on huge vinyl banners that are, 30, 40, 50 feet long. So people can interact with them as they move to work. And that's very important to us.
Yeah, and then before we go, really quickly, I understand you're going to have some panel discussions, and I'm just saying this so in case somebody's watching who wants to learn more about the photography, the basis of the photography, the storytelling, the choices, the issues that are happening abroad. Because at the end of the day, what this showed me in experiencing them is that we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
Exactly, exactly. We'll have a great panel discussion on the 30th, which will be on Zoom, and Andrea, who is here with us, will be there. On the 31st, we have Rodrigo Apt, who's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He'll be doing a discussion, and then we have another one on August 1st. So all 3 nights, you can go to bronxdoc.org, click on events, and there will be links to those discussions. So please join us.
Thank you, Mike Kamber, Andrea Hernandez, Carlos Saavedra. Thank you all for being here with us. And you guys, once again, for the BDC Latin American Photo Festival, that's going to be on display until August 1st. It's in the Melrose section of the Bronx. And if you're interested in more and in participating in the panel discussions, all you have to do is visit BronxDoc.org. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to learn about a classic called Cucarachita. So don't go anywhere.